Hey, what's happening, gamers? It's K-Wife here. Hope everyone's day is going great today. Today we're going to be doing the Splatfest for a little bit, and it's team What Do You Believe? And it's either Bigfoot, Aliens, or Nessie. So the Kwings are going to go with Team Nessie, and we've got a little picture of Nessie on the cover there. So if you guys haven't chosen a Splatfest team and you guys want to join the Kwings, you can jump on in and choose the green t-shirt, which is Team Nessie. And the reason why, actually, I think all three of these are cool. Which one is real? Actually, is the name. So I think all three of these are cool: Bigfoot, Aliens, and Nessie. But I've always been a fan of Nessie since I was a youngling, and it was kind of interesting. I saw you guys were talking about how Lapras is basically Nessie, and or it looks like Nessie, so that's really cool. Yeah, I always thought of Lapras as a plesiosaur or a Nessie. So yeah. If you guys are not up with Nessie lore and everything, a lot of people that really get into Nessie, a lot of people believe, that's one of the main things that people believe Nessie is a prehistoric water dinosaur called a plesiosaur, which would have fins and a long neck. And I think it would be pretty cool if there was a plesiosaur running around a Loch Ness. But, you know, you never know. No one's ever caught one yet. And a lot of fuzzy pictures, but, you know, who knows? Maybe someday. Maybe I'll catch a picture of Nessie someday that has, like, the definitive picture. Or maybe you guys will. So, you never know. So we're going to get as many battles in as we can, and thank you to Luke for setting up today's stream for me. I really appreciate that. He set up the stream and advertised and everything, so that was really nice of him. I went and got myself a coffee and a taco at Dunkin' Donuts. So I guess I will just try to. I've got my Nessie gear on. I've got my Viking hat. The only thing I could really improve or anything would be oh my gosh. So apparently we've unlocked another weapon, so that's pretty cool. So a whole category of new weapons. I don't really have time to check a lot of these weapons out. There's Tenta, Brella, there's the umbrella, there's the slosh thingy. Could probably get these dualies, range, damage, auto bomb. So I just get one of these. Alright. And we can see if there's anything really exciting in the eShop. So I can probably get some of these things later. That's kind of cute. That's kind of neat. It goes with this, the Scottish Nessie theme kind of going on there. I don't know. And ink recovery up, but I don't really want to change my outfit right now because I've got my Viking hat on, so we're gonna go. Let's go Vikings, roar! Okay. And just in time, multiplayer maps have been updated. Alright, great to see everyone in the chat, and I will put the like goal here for 100 likes. Yep, so, and I get pretty competitive, so if you're really excited about another team, your comment may get deleted if you're going for another team, but we'll see. Did I call this the eShop? It's possible. Why did I... Okay, here we go. I thought it was just up here. I guess multiplayer maps got updated, and then I somehow ended up at the bottom of the stairs. Alright, good to see you. Jay Arzu, Jacob Langland, Vic, Christian, Later Gator, Epic Eric, Haris, Geo's World, Sons of Gaming, Christian Patriot, Jamari, and everyone. So there's Nessie and Bigfoot, and there we go. I got a little picture. Team Nessie hype. And aliens. Of course, like, okay, so we're gonna go Splatfest battle with friends. I don't know why it's a tricolor battle. I don't know why it has tricolor, but we're gonna do the best we can. I am Team NESSIE in spirit. Awesome. Thank you, Sons of Gaming. Okay, guys, we've got Epic Eric, Frosted Axel, and Geo. Okay, guys, let's go for it. And you guys have probably been going on Team NESSIE all day. I feel like, I'm just gonna say this right now, the way that they've drawn NESSIE here, it's like they're trying to imply that people mistook a bird for this dinosaur. Which I think people would know the difference, like if they saw a dinosaur or a bird. But that's kind of like what they do. Like if you see a mythical creature, they're gonna try to pretend like, oh, you didn't really see this. You saw a bird. So the way they give it like a beak, or like a pointy, that's not really what NESSIE would look like in most photographs. NESSIE would have like a round face. So I'm just pointing that out, Nintendo, just in case you're trying to say that we're crazy, saying that we're actually seeing a bird. Just letting you know. Alright, Geo and I've got our Viking hats on here. Okay. Dinosaurs are related to birds. Okay. Alright, maybe I'll give you that one, Sons of Gaming. Oops. Okay, sounds good later, Gator. Yeah, I don't know. They don't even do very much with how they're drawn. The only accurate one is kind of like they draw the alien one accurate. That is like basically how some people believe they've seen aliens with the huge eyes. So they're gonna give the aliens like an accurate drawing here. I see how it is. Bigfoot, I don't know what to draw Bigfoot like he's a cuddly bear or cat. But it's fine. It is a beautiful color for NESSIE. I mean, NESSIE is in, I didn't really get, like you guys were saying, Sons of Gaming was telling me, make sure I have my facts ready for NESSIE. I didn't really have a lot of time for that, but that would have been really fun for me if I did. But yeah, NESSIE, Loch Ness is a loch slash lake with lots of, with peat moss. Moss is everywhere in the lake. So, and of course, you know, like, the water is bluish green. So yeah, it's a great color for NESSIE, actually. Definitely, Kate. Blue or green or a teal would have been great color for NESSIE. And yeah, I think that's actually the color they had on the shirt, was kind of like teal. You would think the moss would be green, but actually the moss in Loch Ness is, like peat moss, so it's pretty black, actually. It's very black. Well, guys, we're gonna do the best we can. I don't usually take these. I used to take these pretty seriously, but you know, you never know who's gonna be on the other teams, and you never know, like, how many people are gonna be on the other teams, so we're just gonna do the best we can. I really appreciate you guys joining Team NESSIE with me, though. Oh, you want to battle for NESSIE? Awesome, Kate. Great job. Yeah, so, I mean, I probably should have done that. If you guys are a fan of Lapras from Pokemon, then you guys can be a fan of NESSIE. Okay, guys and gals, let me see if I can get some Nessie facts here. Okay, guys, so I'm on a website for the sightings of Loch Ness Monster. So oh, okay. So actually, it wasn't until 19. Oh wow. So this website is triggering me already because it's writing some pretty interesting things. So I guess I will just read it. What they're saying. Loch Ness Monster, which is nicknamed Nessie, a large marine creature believed by some to inhabit Loch Ness, which is in Scotland. However, much of the alleged evidence supporting his existence has been discredited. Okay, but we'll see about that. And it's widely thought the monster is a myth. Well, I mean, by people that aren't there and haven't seen it. Reports of a monster inhabiting Loch Ness date back to ancient times, notably stone carvings by the Picts, which were, like, I think pre-Celtic tribes that were there, depict a mysterious beast with flippers. The first written account appears in the 7th century biography of St. Columbus. According to that work, in 565 AD, the monster bit a swimmer and was preparing to attack another man when St. Columbus intervened, ordering the beast to go back. It obeyed, and over the centuries, on occasion, sightings have been reported. Many of these alleged encounters seem inspired by Scottish folklore, which abounds with Scottish folklore, has tons of mythical creatures in it. In 1933, the Loch Ness Monster's legend began to grow because a road was placed adjacent to Loch Ness. And in April, a couple saw an enormous animal which they compared to a dragon or prehistoric monster in 1933. After it crossed over the path with its car. And that is how I'm gonna end that one for now, because I need to focus on my playing here. So that's kind of interesting. So before that highway came, people didn't see Nessie as much. So it wasn't after 1930 that people started seeing the creature more, because of the highway plays right alongside of it. That's pretty cool. All right, great job, everyone. You guys are doing great. All right, thank you for avenging me. Thank you, Gio. It's very sweet. Thank you. All right, maybe I should get a splat roller. I don't know. Yeah, I'm feeling like this article is making Nessie believers out to be crazy, but that's okay. I'm used to it. All right, great job, everyone. It says the incident report came into the Scottish newspaper in 1933, and numerous other sightings followed shortly after they built the highway. In December 1933, the Daily Mail commissioned Marmaduke Wetherall, a big game hunter, to locate the sea serpent along the lake shores. He found large footprints that he believed belonged to a very powerful, soft-footed animal about 20 feet long. However, upon closer inspections, Zoologists at the Natural History Museum determined that the tracks were identical and made with an umbrella. Oh, right. I remember that. So there have been a lot of Nessie hoax over the years. Or ashtray that had a hippopotamus leg as a base. Yeah, so there was a person that did take a umbrella or like a lamp or something like that, and they had a hippopotamus base to their umbrella or lamp, and they went out to the Loch Ness to try to see what people would say, and they made like footprints in the sand. So there have been a lot of Nessie hoaxes over the years. However, I do believe that there have been a lot of legitimate sightings as well. But, you know, like, so... so it's been a really interesting... I'm gonna try to find another article and see if we can find some more fun Nessie facts as we run through this. And thanks, Christian. I should make a channel called I Want to Believe. Because you know, I loved the X-Files and stuff like that. I really like researching things. It's kind of interesting that people say, well, the Nessie sightings are probably because there's so many Celtic stories of dragons. It's like, well, yeah, but why are there so many Celtic stories of dragons? Like, but for them, they can't imagine that any of those ancient Celtic people could be telling the truth. So, yeah, people think that, like, people in ancient times didn't know what they were talking about. It's just, like, a common thing. Wow, you guys are killing it here. Great job, green team. Go, green machine. Oops. Wow, you guys are doing fantastic. Great job, everyone. I'm gonna obsessively paint all this stuff back here. Well, I got one person there. All right, great job, everyone. You guys are doing fantastic. All right, great job, everyone. I think that was our second or third round. Okay, so here's some fun facts about, I think this is our third round. And I might be wrong. We have the same victory pose. Awesome, Epic Eric. Protect the base. And protect space. Oh, if Team Nessie doesn't win this time. So, okay, all right, guys, let's keep going. So I think this is our third or fourth round. I'm not sure. I think this is our third round. So, fun facts about Loch Ness. Loch Ness contains at least 263 billion cubic feet of water. It is the deepest loch in Scotland. It is not the deepest loch. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. It's not the deepest loch in Scotland, nor is it the largest. The largest by surface area is Loch Lomond, which there are a lot of songs written about Loch Lomond, like ancient, like, well, not ancient, but like folk songs. And it is not the deepest. The deepest is Loch Morar. The whole monster claim to fame isn't just enough, so Loch Ness also has bagged the largest body of water in the whole UK. There is more water in Loch Ness than all the lakes in England and Wales put together. So it has tons of, like, it's not the deepest and it's not the widest or longest, but it does have the most water in it. So it has more cubic feet of water than any other loch. I think most of the lakes in Scotland are called lochs. I'm 90% sure. Alright, let's see other, it's pitch black. Loch Ness is pitch black, if you guys didn't know. Thanks to the glorious sunshine liquid, which is, let's see, I'll have to, it is covered with peat moss, which give it, poor visibility and excellent conditions for hiding a monster. And that's literally written on this article. So if you were a monster and you wanted to go into a lake anywhere in the world, this would be the best lake to go in because it's really easy to hide in since it's pitch black. Fun fact number 3 about Loch Ness. So it has the most water of any lake in the, I believe in the UK. I'm gonna have to look into that again, but it has the most water of any lake in Scotland, that's for sure. And fun fact about Loch Ness, the lake has never frozen over. It does not freeze. It's just very chilly all the time, and it does not freeze, so you can never go ice skating on it. For whatever reason, the lake never freezes over. Alright, I feel like we need a little Nessie gif here. Okay, guys, I think that was either 3 or 4, but we'll do one more with this team, and then we'll do one more. Then I'll switch the teams. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat, Christian Patriot. Thank you. Christian says dragons are talked about in the Bible, not only the dragon talked about in the end, but regular dragons as well. In Jeremiah, after God said he will make Israel desolate, he says dragons will dwell there. Oh, wow. Interesting, Christian. Yeah, yeah, and there's so many stories of dragons by so many different cultures. And yeah, that's really interesting that they're mentioned not just in the end, but also saying that dragons would actually dwell in this land that's like a wasteland. Very cool, Christian. Thank you so much for the super chat, and I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Here's an interesting thing. This website says, in 565 AD, St. Columba came face to face with the water beast. When it appeared its ugly head, he tried to eat Columba's servant, or I guess he was a servant. There have been several accounts of water sightings since then, but we feel like so many have been made up. The famous surgeon's photo from 1934 was later revealed to be a hoax, featuring a toy submarine and a dinosaur head. Now, that's a fact that they keep talking about, but actually, that's not entirely true. That the surgeon's photo, I believe the guy who took the surgeon's photo was an actual surgeon. And from, I researched a lot about that surgeon's photo from 1934 myself. And, that is not entirely true, that was a hoax. If you actually look into it, you'll find that the guy was hounded. He originally said that was a real photo that he took. And, he was hounded for most of his life. People were trying to tell him to say that was a fake. They were very upset with him. And, there is a story that he actually, on his deathbed, told like a few people that the photo was real. That he actually told everyone that the photo was fake because he didn't want to be hounded by people anymore, even though he believed it was real. And that actually on his deathbed, he did tell people that no, the photo he took was actually a real photo, but he didn't want to be bothered by it. So there is a huge, like, if you do take a picture of something that's considered mythical, people will bother you about it, like, you know, send you threats and stuff in the mail, and they won't leave your family alone. So, I mean, just because somebody admits and says, oh, this was a hoax, doesn't always mean it was a hoax, because sometimes they're so harassed by people that they just say it's a hoax, even though it actually was real. So that's, I mean, that's very debatable, but there are some records that he actually said it was real on his deathbed, which is really interesting, I find, because, you know, it's, yeah, I think it's kind of interesting. It's a scary business, you know. Taking a picture of a monster isn't really, even if you found it was true, people might, just because you know it's true doesn't mean that anyone else is gonna believe you. But we'll see if we can get some more NESSIE facts as we keep going. Oh my gosh. Yes, I have. Thank you, yeah, I have, thank you, Christian Patriot, for the super chat. Appreciate that so much. I actually have heard of the Leviathan, and, there is a guy online that believes he has found evidence of the Leviathan being real, not just a legend. I believe the Leviathan is supposed to be a huge, snake or something that could encircle like the whole world. Maybe I'm wrong about this. There's like a huge fish, and then there's a huge dragon, and there's a huge snake, and they're supposed to be like so huge they would be like bigger than a continent, which would actually fit in with Norse mythology, because Norse people believed that some of our world, and actually, believe it or not, if you look into it, there's, you can look into legends from Africa, too, about giant creatures, the Anunnaki and stuff like that. So, there's African legends about that, too, where our world is built on giant, creatures. Okay, let's see here. Okay, guys, so anyone who wants to come in can. But, yeah, I will tell you, Christian, because you're awesome, and everyone else, if you want to look at it. I'm not saying this person is sane. I don't know if they're sane or not, but there's a guy called Mud Fossils on YouTube, and he believes he has evidence that the Leviathan was real. That would be a snake that is literally either a snake or a dragon that's literally like bigger than a continent. So there's some really interesting stuff on the internet. Especially, you guys have to remember that, you know, sometimes I would be waiting to record for quite a while, and I couldn't go out. I had to wait for, you know, Luke to be on a call with Capcom or with his editor, and I was just stuck online. So you guys have to understand that that I've spent a lot of time on the internet. So yeah. Yeah, so yeah, it's kind of interesting. Snake-like dragon systems of gaming. Okay, there you go. World Serpent in Norse mythology, says Sons of Gaming. Yep, there you go. Sons of Gaming. Okay, guys, we've got Epic Eric, Later Gator, Kate, and me. Alright, let's go for it. Okay, so we're gonna wait. Okay, we're gonna wait for one more person. Okay, we've got Tom in here. Awesome. So yeah, there's no code. You'd have to friend me online. I could try to put my friend code in the chat if I get a second. It's mainly people that are already friended to me, but I could try to put my friend code in if I get a second. So yeah, some people believe they have evidence. There is... I will just tell you guys, according to this guy that I've been watching, which I find interesting, if you look in the Sahara Desert from the aerial view, you can see the outline of what looks like a giant fish fighting a giant dragon. As though, like, you can almost see the outline of the two huge bodies of these creatures. It's really interesting, actually. Like, you wouldn't think that that a creature could be the size of a continent or the size of a country, but there is a really weird outline, like in you know, the Sahara Desert region of huge creatures that look like they were in a battle. So it's kind of interesting. I mean, if you, I guess people see what they want to see. So if you see it, then you might think, oh, this is cool. Or if you're a skeptic, then you might think, no, this is not real. But it is kind of interesting to look at it and think about it. Like, huh, could there be a serpent or a snake that could encompass the whole world? Kind of interesting. And I like that kind of stuff. I like not knowing about things. You know, some people think, well, that's weird. Well, then how could I understand the rest of my life? If this is real, then nothing else makes sense. But for me, nothing makes sense anyway. so it doesn't bother me. My life doesn't necessarily always make sense for me anyway. So it doesn't really bother me if something crazy is real. So that's why I kind of like it. I'm more like you know, Jack Sparrow, and I kind of like being on an adventure all the time in my life. And I mean, if none of this stuff is real, if they're all hoaxes, it's still fun to think about, you know. It doesn't, like, bother me or anything. Like, I'm not gonna, you know. Alright, well, sometimes I get triggered because I really love Nessie, but, Ah! Oh, the Leviathan was talked about in the end of Job. Okay, thank you, Christian. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. Yeah, they did describe a beast there, and it wasn't an elephant. Yep, exactly. Yep, you're correct, Christian. There is a beast described in that book. It's not an elephant. It's the way that it's described is very interesting. Yeah, the description of that beast is really, really cool, actually. Definitely Christian. Yep, not that many people take time to go look at that. I like that, Christian. That's really cool. Thank you, Gio. Says you made me inspired to love Nessie also. Aw, thanks, Gio. Maybe I'll have to sell some Nessie t-shirts someday. All right, guys, we're gonna. Okay, so that's round. I'm on a website that says mostly true facts about the Loch Ness Monster. Okay, so there are over 1,000 recorded sightings of the Loch Ness Monster. In 1934, they gave a staff of 20 people $2 a day to be monster watchers. I don't know if it was the government of Scotland that did this, or if it was like somebody else. I don't know how long they were monster watchers, but there you go. Files from the Natural History Museum suggest that Prince Philip was so interested in the Loch Ness Monster he proposed that the Royal Navy be enlisted to help him search for that elusive creature. There is a law made about Loch Ness Monster since 1912. Much of the legislation has been repealed about Nessie, but according to Scotland's Animal Protection Act, which was enacted in 1912, if the monster Nessie is ever captured, she is protected under Scotland's Animal Protection Act of 1912. I don't know how it's protected, but somehow protected. So I don't know what that means. Like, I guess you wouldn't be able to hunt Nessie or mount Nessie on your wall. So I guess big game hunters can forget that. As part of a 2005 triathlon, swimming across the Loch Ness, each participant in the triathlon was insured up to $1 million against bites from the Loch Ness Monster. So they all were insured up to $1 million. That's really interesting. So they definitely took that seriously. Alright, great job, guys, for Team Nessie. You guys are doing fantastic. And thanks for all the super chats, Christian, and the fun facts about dragons and all that stuff. That's amazing, Christian. Thank you for all those awesome facts. And really interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting how the dragons and other creatures have been described in the in different old texts, such as the Bible and other places. Definitely. Oh my gosh. In 1979, a pair of bottlenose dolphins were outfitted with vests that held lights and small cameras, and they were employed to search for Nessie. So they had 2 dolphins sent into the river with cameras to search for Nessie. And unfortunately one of the dolphins passed away. During like a stopover at the aquarium. I don't really understand that, but I don't know why they just didn't get another dolphin, but okay. It's a weird fact. Oh wow, interesting. So, a weird fact about Nessie is Nessie is shy. According to, I don't know what it is, but apparently Nessie is an INFJ, and which is a personality type, meaning very shy and very, like, keep to yourself. So they've analyzed Nessie's personality as shy. So if you guys are shy and creative, then you might have the same personality type as Nessie. Interesting. Maybe one of the dolphins got eaten, says Sons of Gaming. Yep, exactly. Alright guys, this is the second round. Great job everyone. And I don't see any ability. I didn't really get abilities unlocked. Thank you, the Ghost of Evil Betty. Thank you so much. Evil Betty. Alright, let's see if we can get some more Nessie fun facts. Okay. Oh wow, the music is getting awesome. Alright, great job everyone! You guys are doing fantastic! Oh, there's Later Gator! Hello, my Viking friend! Oh! Oh my gosh, I should have ducked. Okay. Man, I like this new music. This is awesome. And I hope you guys are having a good day. I know I'm having fun. Alright, so apparently I'm on a website now that says there are new sightings of Nessie every year. There's a whole website just based on sightings last year. So, apparently you guys can find a lot of information. If you guys ever want to do a school report on something that has tons of information, there are Nessie sightings every year. And some of them are really interesting. There was a guy who almost hit Nessie with a motorcycle. There were some old stories of Nessie before people could have photographs. I remember reading about Nessie when I was little, and there was a story of Nessie. There's been stories of Nessie coming up on people's boats. There was a story of Nessie, that castle right next to Loch Ness, Iroquois Castle, that people used to hear the sounds of Nessie in the basement of that castle. So, yeah, there's a lot of... Nessie has... Not only does Nessie have some cool sightings, but also Nessie has really creative... Like, the sightings, you never know what's going to happen. The sightings are always really interesting. There are sightings of Nessie, you know, like, all coming right up against somebody and their head... There's a sighting of somebody I was just reading where the head rose like 8 feet in the water and they just stared at the person and then just swam away. So a lot of the sightings were pretty terrifying, and like some of you guys have said, Nessie basically likes to eat fish, so generally wouldn't eat human beings, but maybe if Nessie was really hungry, he might eat you or me, or she might eat you or me. Okay, guys, so there's actually a website here. It has different photographs of Nessie sightings just from this from last year. It's kind of interesting, but you guys can't see where I am, so okay, let's see. All right. So they have some stuff on History Channel. Let's see. Alright, guys and gals, let's go Later Gator. Let's go, awesome. Great job, Later Gator. Let's go, let's see, we got Tom. Let's go, Tom. Alright, great job, everyone. You guys are doing great. Vikings roar! Oh, wow. I kind of like this instrumental music here. It's pretty cool. Pretty rockin'. Alright, great job, everyone. You guys are doing fantastic. Man, I really hope Nessie beats out aliens. But we'll see. I don't want to be mean to Sasquatch, but I feel like Sasquatch doesn't stand a chance. People love Nessie, and people love aliens, so... Ah! Alright, great job, Later Gator. Great job, everyone. Uh-oh, somebody's doing Make It Rain. Oh, wow, a giant squid got me. All right, let's see. Great job, everyone. Okay, guys. All right. Looks like we've got. Okay, so I've got a really interesting website about. This is called British Heritage travel site. So it says Urquhart Castle is surely one of the most picturesque castles in Scottish Highlands. It is 16 miles away from the Inverness. And the castle is one of the largest castles in Scotland. It overlooks it overlooks a cliff overlooking Loch Ness. It is one of the best places that you can actually catch a glimpse of Nessie. The castle, the ruins of the castle are late 13th century, and the castle was actually blown up in 1692 to prevent the Jacobites from occupying it. If you guys didn't know who the Jacobites are, they are, when there were two different kings of Scotland, they had basically Catholics and the Protestant kings were fighting over the crown of Scotland, and there was a king, I believe it was James II, and he had a child, and people were pretty upset because they wanted their Protestant king in place, and the King James and his family were Catholics. So it's a long story, but yeah, Jacobite rebellions are two different kings fighting over Scotland. That so yeah, it's a long story, but anyway, so the castle was blown up in 1692 because of that, but the remains of the castle are still there. Interesting. The formal name of Nessie is Nessiteras rhombopteryx. Rhombopteryx. Nessie has an actual formal name. So Nessie is literally a nickname for that. Oh man, I'm trying to do fun facts and do this. It's really interesting. Thanks for having my back later, Gator. You're breathtaking. Alright, so there were no verified reports of Nessie until 1933. Although, there were stories of a giant creature circulating before then. So, and as we know, 1933 was when they built the road near Nessie. The original name for Nessie used to be called Kelpie, which was a Celtic name for an underwater seahorse, which is something in Celtic legend. So basically people believed that they were seeing this seahorse, water horse, for years before Nessie was even a thing. So that's kind of interesting. Oh my gosh! Oh no! I need to concentrate more on the fighting and list on the Nessie fun facts. Many sightings of the Loch Ness Monster have been cited by reputable individuals such as monks, lawyers, scientists, and even Dr. Richard Singe, a Nobel Prize winner, spotted Nessie. There were a few serious attempts to locate and identify Loch Ness Monster in the 1930s. The films and photographs were reportedly shot of Nessie. At best, were inconclusive because they were fuzzy. But of course, there was one famous photograph taken in 1934 known as the surgeon's photograph, which is the most famous photograph of Nessie, taken by Robert K. Wilson, showing a creature with a long neck and a small head placidly skimming the surface of the loch / lake. And I'm 90% sure loch and lake are the same thing. But it may be that in Scotland a loch is a little bit different than a lake, meaning their lakes are a little bit different than ours. They're more like long or something like that. I don't know. Many scientists agree that it's an animal, but they identify it as a bird! Wow. So the most famous picture of Nessie they're trying to say is a bird. So that explains why. In this photo, so that's kind of explains why on our Nessie t-shirt it looks like it's a bird. All right. Okay, guys, so we'll do this one and maybe one other one, and then we'll do another, maybe I'll do another round. Maybe I'll read the rest of my fun facts in between, rounds, because I don't want to get destroyed. I wanna fight for Nessie. You guys are fighting hard, and I'm sitting here not fighting that hard, so. So that explains it. So they basically have determined that that was a bird. Which is really interesting because I was just on another website that said that it wasn't a bird, that it was a toy submarine. So that's interesting that there's two different versions of that story. Weird. It can't be a submarine and a bird at the same time. Just saying. All right, let's go Team Nessie, we've got this. Oh, why did I go right into the tornado? So I've decided that if you really want to find a fun place that gives a positive spin on Nessie, you really want to go to a British tourist website, because they're gonna try to sell you the most on Nessie's existence. So they're gonna basically oh my gosh. Poor Nessie, identified as a bird. Sadness. Alright, so we'll do my fun facts really quick, guys. Investigation of Nessie's existence or non-existence began really in earnest in the 1960s and has continued ever since. Photograph taken in 1951 by Lachlan Stewart, a forest commissioner employee, shows 3 humps appearing on the surface of a turbulent loch. This was hailed as positive evidence by one researcher and a hoax by another. A photograph taken in 1955 by P.A. McNabb, a bank manager, reveals a long object or objects traveling near the ruins of Urquhart Castle Tower. The height of the tower, which is 46 feet, conveys the idea of the length of the creature swimming nearby. Many researchers now believe this photo was a fake. But, I mean, of course, they believe all the photos were fake. In 1960, Tim Dinsdale, an aeronautical engineer, filmed what appeared to be a creature swimming across the loch The film was sent to the Joint Air Reconnaissance Intelligence Center of the Royal Air Force, and they concluded that the Dinsdale's creature was probably moving and traveling at 10 miles an hour. 2 years later, the Loch Ness Investigation Bureau, which is a real thing, LNIB, Loch Ness Investigation Bureau, was created. So, in 1962, there was a Loch Ness Investigation Bureau. Really interesting. So, there's an entire bureau just to investigate Nessie. That's kind of cool. So, yeah, Nessie is pretty, like, people say, oh, it doesn't really, but there's, like, so much stuff. Like, there's so many official organizations that are just created just to look for Nessie. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. There's a lot of government funded official searches, and even the Royal Air Force looks like it got involved back in the 60s, so that's kind of interesting. So, you know, if you guys are a fan of Nessie like me, you're not alone. Even the Royal Air Force was looking into this. All right, great job, everyone. You guys are doing fantastic. All right, let's go Vikings! Roar! We've got this. Let's go team. Alright, using all my paint here. Oops. Well, we did a double KO. Alright, thanks again, Evil Betty for the super chat and Christian Patriot. We won! Great job, guys! Okay, hi, Crossfighter, great to see you. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, I'm going to give you guys a great website, britishheritage.com/travel/Loch Ness. If you guys want to look into it, might as well even put this, could even put this in the description of, there's some Nessie facts for you guys. I'm going to put this in the description of the video. Okay, alright guys, we're gonna do one more with this team, guys and gals. Okay guys, so actually I did, oh awesome, thank you Sasha. Good to see you, Crossfighter, thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Gio. See you later, Gator even agrees what I said, you power up your allies with the fun facts. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Jacob Langwood. Sorry I missed that, Jacob. Giant squid is called a kraken. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Jacob Langwood. You're breathtaking, Jacob. Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely. Really cool. I love you guys. You guys got your monster facts going on. So actually, guys, I found a really great website about the history of Nessie, and I put it in the description of the video, BritishHeritage.com/travel/Loch Ness or something like that. So pretty cool. It has basically the history of Nessie. It has the names of the people that cited the different sightings of Nessie. And it has a lot of interesting fun facts on there. So if you guys want to research, if you guys ever do a book report or a report about Nessie in school or just for your own reading, it's kind of a cool website to look at. And I would love... If I found out other people were doing, because I did a report on Nessie when I was younger, and nobody in my, I did it actually in school, and then I did it in my 4-H class. So I had to do, oh, darn it! So yeah, and people kind of stared at me, but I felt pretty cool, because I enjoyed researching it. I thought I was pretty cool, and, you know, I thought it was kind of neat. I went too deep! That's okay. If anyone asks me to do fun facts, you know, I'm gonna go overboard with it, because I like my fun facts. Thank you, Gio. Thanks, Sons of Gaming. Thanks, Later Gator. I enjoy my fun facts. Thanks, everyone. Oh, no! I have to do research about a mythical animal. I could do Nessie, and when I make an anime, I'll do a special episode. I can credit you. Oh, that's very sweet. Oh, Gio. Oh, you don't have to credit me. My reward is that somebody's talking about my favorite mythical animal. So let's see. Let's review. Okay, so it is 5:03, but we'll figure. I don't know where Luke is. I think I can hear him moving around. I get nervous when I hear Luke moving around because I'm like, oh no, he's gonna come up and be like, Amber! Oops. Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you, Gio. You're so kind. Thank you so much. Oh, I understand, Pokey Potter. I understand. Yep. Yep, because of our, okay, guys. So let's, I'm still got my website up here. Okay. Okay, guys, so I'm actually we're gonna open it up for another, more people to join. Great job, everyone, and I don't know how far we are in the results. So I don't even know how we can see the results. How can we, is there any way we can see the results here? Maybe we can, maybe I can exit out of the game and we can see the results real quick. Okay, I'm gonna come back into the game. I want to see what the results are, guys and gals, because I don't want to just keep going without even seeing. All right, let's see. So 2 years later, after the Loch Ness Investigation Bureau was created, with twofold purpose of researching the possibility of a large unidentified animal creature in Loch Ness and collecting and substantiating other people's sightings. So they're the ones that collect and everyone's sightings. The Investigation Bureau, Loch Ness Investigation Bureau, LNIB. Over the course of 10 years of its existence, the LNIB, Loch Ness Investigation Bureau, has amassed a quantity of evidence indicating Nessie's presence in the loch. One of the most famous photographs taken during a joint project with the Boston Academy of Applied Science using both sonar and film revealed what appeared to be the hindquarters, flippers, and a portion of a tail of a large aquatic animal under the water. In 1975, several years after that was published, after the publication of that flipper photo, which was taken between the the Boston Academy of Applied Science and the LNIB, 200 scientists, journalists, and members of the parliament gathered to consider the evidence of Loch Ness. Nessie. Representatives of the Smithsonian Institute, Harvard University's Museum of Comparative Zoology, Toronto's Royal Ontario Museum, and in fact, almost all scientists present concurred that a large aquatic animal did dwell in Loch Ness. The notable exception was the British Museum of Natural History, which, though it accepted the authenticity of the photographs presented as evidence, felt they were insufficient to prove the existence of an aquatic animal. More recently, in October 1987, a sonar sweep of the loch was taken in the 80s, where they actually swept through the entire loch with sonar machines. Dubbed Operation Deep Scan, it involved 19 cabin cruisers. They traveled across the loch, setting up a sonar curtain. So they went across the whole loch and scanned it with 19 sonar machines. And any target caught in the sound net was tracked. Although Nessie did not surface during that Operation Deep Scan, several large targets were recorded which could not be explained. In fact, one of the contacts tracked was larger than anything ever recorded at a similar depth. It would be difficult to deny there was something unusual in the loch. There have been too many verified sightings, photographs, and sonar scans. Most people, Most people estimate that Nessie, through most sightings, has a long neck, a small head, a large diamond-shaped flippers, and a powerful tail. Most estimate that her length will range between 15 to 50 feet. The most frequent espoused hypothesis is that Nessie is a large marine reptile, possibly a plesiosaur, which supposedly became extinct over 70 million years ago. The theory is not as fantastic as it may appear, because a coelacanth, a species of fish once thought to be extinct 70 million years ago, was actually caught in Madagascar in 1938. Meaning there have been other kinds of creatures that were supposed to be extinct 70 million years ago that were found to actually be alive in modern times. Let's see. One explanation for the presence of Nessie in Loch Ness is that Nessie, or perhaps several Nessies, meaning several dinosaurs, could have strayed into the loch at the last ice age, which would have been 10,000 to 12,000 years ago. Nessie was not then Nessie would have not be landlocked, and Loch Ness would have just been an arm of the North Sea. When the ice melted, the land rose and it created an enclosed lake. So Nessie was then trapped in Loch Ness and possibly cutting off the large aquatic creature from the open ocean where Nessie used to live. Clear underwater photographs of Loch Ness are nearly impossible due to the presence of peat moss that is carried into the loch from rivers and mountains. The peat remains suspended in the water, making it murky beyond the top 50 feet. This is why the flipper photos are so significant, and it explains the necessity for using sonar. Let's see. Another, let's see. So it says the other reason why it's hard to figure out where Nessie is because in some places the lock is about 700 feet deep. And even in Operation Deep Scan, where they ran sonar throughout the whole lake, they can only really cover 60% of the lake because, or the lock, because they can only get the very top of it since the lake is so deep. And the article ends, do you believe in Nessie? Well, it says, I too shall station myself at Urquhart Castle with binoculars for a glimpse of Scotland's best known denizen of the deep. So there you go, guys. You know the facts about Nessie. We've learned that Nessie is estimated to be 15 to 50 feet long with a small head and a long neck. There have been times in the 70s and 80s where they have scanned underwater with sonar, and there are some famous photos you can see of flippers of a creature under the water, which is really interesting. Actually, I know a really interesting story of, well, there are some other stories of Nessie, such as a U-boat, German U-boat in World War II, actually surfaced up at the top of Loch Ness because it was afraid of a monster that they encountered down there. There is a story of a race that was across Loch Ness that a woman actually, I believe she died, actually. She was on like a ski boat or like a racing boat, and there was like a wave by something unexplained, like something made a wave and literally knocked her boat completely off, and she actually, I believe, died. So there's a lot of really interesting unexplained things that have happened. And then we learned today that before there were photographs of Nessie, Nessie was known as Kelpie, which is actually the term for a water horse in ancient legend of the water horse from Celtic mythology. So kind of cool. Thank you guys for listening to my fun facts. And if you guys are watching this video back, I did put the British Heritage website for Nessie and the sightings of Nessie in the description of this video. So you guys can go to that website and check it out yourself, all of the sightings, and you can probably go and find much more sightings than that. They don't list all 1,000 and more sightings on that website, so you can always do your own research. There are crazy people that live on Loch Ness. That actually, there's a guy that I've seen on a video. He basically lives in a van down by the river. He lives in a van down by Loch Ness and looks for Nessie every day. And he carves little wooden statues of Nessie to try to pay for his food. So, I mean, there's some people pretty obsessed with Nessie. If you guys think I'm obsessed, there are other people even more obsessed. So make sure that Nessie doesn't drag you into the water of insanity too much. But it is pretty interesting. There's actually, government organizations that are just made just for the investigation of Nessie and writing down all the sightings. So pretty cool. And thank you guys. This has been Amber with fun facts for the day. So thanks everyone for coming to my TED Talk. Thank you, Gio. You're so sweet. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Sorry for the Kate. I'm sorry. Okay, great. Thank you guys for the highlighted messages. Okay, Richard Taylor says 26 days until Jedi Survivor. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Richard, for the super chat. And thank you, Jacob Langlet and Christian for the super chats. And also Evil Betty. Thank you, guys. Okay, great. I think we're doing well. I didn't really get to see what was happening with Nessie. I don't know who's winning here. It's like really hard for me to tell. All right, thanks for the highlighted messages. Thank you. Nintendo Lover Girl said Splatfest time, remember, for 7 months. Thank you, Julia. You're breathtaking. And Kate says, Amber, the final results came in at 10 Eastern time. So far, Nessie is winning. Awesome, Kate. Thank you. Wow, guys, we're winning. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Wow. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Julia. Wow, guys. We're doing really well. You guys are awesome. Nessie is winning so far, says Litigator. Nessie is winning, says Gio. Yeah, so, in conclusion, even if you're not Scottish, like some people say, like, oh, like, well, Nessie is just for Scottish people, but that's not true. Nessie is a dinosaur that loves all people. Nessie just happened to be trapped in Scotland, and Nessie is waiting for you to investigate her and find more information about her so that you can tell the world how cool she is. So yeah, according to like the website that we were looking at, it's thought that 10 to 12,000 years ago, during the Ice Age, or one of the Ice Ages, Nessie may have been trapped in Loch Ness, and then the ice, you know, melted, and then she was completely trapped in there. So so Nessie used to roam free in the ocean, we believe. So Nessie could have gone anywhere before that. And yeah, so I think Nessie is a really cool you know, thing to investigate, and I find it really interesting. So thank you guys for listening to all the fun facts about Nessie, and maybe I will. Now you guys have inspired me. Maybe I'll have to do more. Maybe I'll have to do a channel where I just talk about fun facts of mysterious creatures, because there's a lot more. If you guys are looking for other water monsters, there are other water monsters around. Besides just Nessie, one of the most interesting dragon slash water monster slash mythical beast that is around is actually in the Congo Basin in Africa, which is called the Mokele Memembe, which is really hard to say for me, but people believe there's a long-necked dinosaur there. And there's some really interesting, I think there may be a few photos, but a lot of it is actually interviewing the people that live in the Congo. And they believe that they've actually hunted this beast and eaten its food, actually eaten it at mealtime for their people there. So it's kind of interesting. Monster Hunter did a really cool special on it, and they actually showed on Monster Hunter some of the places where the Mokele Memembe would actually, like, the little dens that they believe it was sleeping in, and some of the footprints on the ground. Other than that, there are a lot of river monsters. If you guys are looking for like a river monster in the United States, look no further than Lake Champlain, which is on the border of Canada and the US, and this is Nessie's brother or sister. Champ is a long-necked dinosaur too, or a long-necked plesiosaur, people believe, and there's tons of sightings of Champ going back to like Native American times. So Champ is a really cool river monster to look into also. So yeah, I love mysteries. I love river monsters. I love being weird. But thanks for listening to my fun facts. I love Nessie. Alright, my snapping turtle. Hi, Top 10. How's it going? Oh, you like the crab monster? Awesome, Top 10. Hi, Top 10 Speed. How's it going? Great to see you. Weird is good. Thank you, Later Gator. So, alright, guys. So let's try, let's do one more. And then I don't know how many, I don't know what people we have. Frosted Axel, Later Gator. So we'll do one more. Maybe we'll do one extra one just in case. So we'll do this one, and then maybe if we have time, we'll do one more free-for-all round. If anyone wants to come in, thank you, Later Gator. You're amazing. You're breathtaking, Later Gator. Great to see you, Top 10 Speed. Hi, Xander Winger Game. Hi, the facts are over. No, says Later Gator. Well, you guys know why I'm interested in Snapping Turtle is a meme. Oh, okay. I didn't know that top 10 speed. Okay. Well, you guys know why I'm interested in dragons, right? On Norse sailing ships, the Vikings, when they crossed the sea, we're gonna tie this into Vikings, guys and gals, because why not? They would, if they saw very scary things on the water, they would carve that into the front of their ship to kind of try to scare things away. They felt that carving something scary into the front of their ship would kind of scare other people. So some of the monsters or dragons that are carved into the front of Viking ships, according to the Vikings, are actual things they saw in the open seas. So it's very possible that, that the Vikings could have seen something similar to Nessie. Could have seen water monsters or river monsters or ocean monsters, on the open seas. So could the Vikings have run into Nessie before Nessie got, or a creature similar to Nessie at some point? You never know. So kind of interesting. That's why I think that's mainly what got me into looking up. One of the things that got me into looking up river monsters is the Viking ships with the dragons on the front. Always thought that was really cool, and I thought, my gosh, why would they carve these dragons unless they saw something like this? So, yeah. So thanks, guys. That's it's not really my fun fact, but explaining why I kind of got into that. But yeah, like no matter what your heritage is, there are stories all over the world of monsters and fairies and mythical beasts, and it's kind of cool to look up something that your ancestors believe they saw or wrote about in legend, and you can look it up and think like, well, my ancestors saw this, or or people, maybe even not your ancestors, but other people, you're reading a book about it from another place across the world that makes you interested in it. Like there's sightings in Japan and stuff like that, about like Japanese scientists believe they caught a plesiosaur off the coast of Japan in, I think it was the 90s or something. So yeah, like it's kind of interesting to investigate that and then think like, maybe there's something to this, instead of just kind of doing what they tell you to do in school, which is, don't worry about it. It's probably nothing. So, yeah. You guys are cool. Thanks for listening to my fun facts. So we'll try to, I'll try to do one more, guys. I'm going to try to extend this so we do one more, because you guys have been super patient. And then I can just tell Luke that I extended it till 5:30. Comparing the myths are so great. Definitely Sons of Gaming. And I bet there's a lot of interesting things that, like, all over the world, Japan and Australia and things that I'm not even aware of, in other parts of the world, that you guys probably have myths and legends where you guys are that I don't even know about. Paintball guns. You know who Ragnar Lothbrok is? It sounds really familiar. So it looks like he was a Viking king, but I haven't really watched the Viking. He was a Viking hero and Danish king, but I'm looking this up on Google because I actually haven't really watched the Viking show. I'm not a huge fan of the show Vikings, because it's super violent, and I do believe the Vikings were pretty violent, and not very nice to Irish people and other people like that. And my husband is Irish, so that makes it, but he forgives me, which is kind. Forgiveness is a great thing. Okay, guys, we're gonna try one more round. But yeah, I haven't really watched that show a lot, but yeah, I know he's a historical person, top 10 speed. I can definitely look him up and find out more facts about him. Yeah, so Danish and Swedish. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that Danish, Swedish, Norse, all of those people were involved in with the Vikings. They were all considered Vikings back then. Alright, Later Gator, Jade Rose, and Geo. Okay, guys, so we got one more. This is going to be our last round here. Yeah, I don't like the most recent Viking show because Vikings were violent, but that wasn't like their entire culture. Like, you know, like a lot of cultures, like people would come across, you know, indigenous people in all kinds of, you know, in North America or in Africa or, you know, in Asia or in South America, and people would be like, oh my gosh, these people have spears, and, you know, like, oh, it's like, and also in, you know, in ancient Scandinavia with the Norse people and stuff like that, Vikings, and they would be like, oh my gosh, these people are so terrifying and they're so violent. But in reality, violence is just like one part of their culture. Like, it would be, you know, you have to like fight for your land, fight for resources, keep people away from you that are, you know, trying to hurt you, or sometimes you want to intimidate, like some cultures want to intimidate other people around them to make sure that they don't take their land and stuff like that. But it wasn't like their entire culture. Like, you know, like Norse people didn't just kill people. Like, that wasn't like the only thing they did. They also made tools. They also traded. They explored. They, you know, they built really cool houses. There's a lot of other things they did. Like, I don't know, a lot of modern Viking shows, they try to make it like they actually farmed, things like that, they hunted, so there's a lot more than just kind of like, I feel like a lot of, modern shows, like, try to make, like, the Vikings, like, they just took stuff from other people, which wasn't exactly, they did take stuff from other people, but that wasn't like the only thing they did. So I don't feel like they were always about violence. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm kidding myself, but I think there was more to it than that. They had a long, like, some people were trying to tell me, oh, the Vikings appeared randomly. It's like, no, they didn't. Vikings are a whole people. That would be like saying South Americans appeared randomly, or Asians appeared randomly, or Africans appeared randomly. No, all of our people had a long history where, you know, we had religion and, you know, culture for a long time. And, like, before the Vikings actually started, like, attacking people on sailboats, they had a long history of, you know, their belief system, and they had a whole thing. Like, they had tremendous amount of a long history of their culture. Like, they believed in the forest spirits, and you know, like dwarves, gnomes, like a lot of the stuff in Tolkien, like the elves and the dwarves, a lot of that stuff is taken from Viking culture. So there's a lot more to Viking culture than just violence. So that's why I'm not a huge fan of like modern Viking shows, but I will definitely look into it a little bit more. Yeah. It's kind of weird, like, I'm always like, yeah, charge, and let's take all this stuff, and then I'm just like, if I actually watch the Viking show, it, like, freaks me out, because it's way too violent for me. I can't handle that. So I'm kind of like a hypocrite. Yeah, exactly, like, it's kind of like you... Yeah, I think of Vikings kind of like, the same as, like, Aquaman, where he's not really worried about the surface world, he's worried about his own people. Like, he has to take care of his own people, that's his main goal. And that's how I feel like Vikings were, they, you know, they had a different, you know, and that's how a lot of people were, that's how a lot of people were back then, because, I mean, you had to take care of your own people. Oh wow, there was a bird eating someone's eye. Oh my gosh, yeah. I think that there was a lot of violence, and a lot of Viking culture did have violence in it. Like, and a lot of even like their religious beliefs had to do with violence. stuff like that. And that was the same for a lot of cultures back then. Like, people think that Vikings were the only ones that were like that, but there's a lot of cultures around the world that, you know, feats of strength. And you know what I mean? Like, you know, you see, like, even in Wakanda, where they have to do that fight to try to see who's the top, who comes out on top. I know Wakanda isn't a real place, but, you know, like, well, it is in our hearts. Wakanda is real in our hearts. So, yeah. So, I mean, in ancient times, a lot of our ancestors, we had to fight to survive, to, you know, to just live. You know, and I don't think that is a bad thing. Like, I don't think anyone should be, like, ashamed if their ancestors are warrior people with spears and would attack other people. I don't think it's something bad, because I think it's good. You're fighting for your survival of your people, and I think that's a really good thing. That's my long talk about this. So, all warrior people unite, and we did it, guys. I think Nessie may have won. Yeah. Yep, Wakanda forever. That's right, Later Gator. All right, so we defeated. Hopefully, we defeated aliens and Bigfoot for for all warrior kind, for Wakanda forever, for Viking kind, and for all of our warrior people. Roar! Nessie forever! Okay, guys, you guys are breathtaking. You guys are amazing, and thank you for all the super chats. We got super chats from, let's see, we got super chats from Christian Patriot, top donator for this stream. Also, Richard Taylor, and Jacob Langlet, and Ghost of Evil Betty, and Christian Patriot again. And we've got super chats from Nintendo, or highlight messages from Nintendo Lover Girl and Kate Lee. And we got all our members in the chat right now. Jade Rose, Sons of Gaming, Geo's World, Tom, and Kate, Julia, and Christian, and everyone. And we've got all and Brandon, and all you guys and gals, and JD, and we've got all our Viking warriors today, hanging out with me. Epic Eric, Later Gator, Geo's World, Sasha, and everyone who fought with me, and Tom, and all you guys. So thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for being on our awesome warrior team against the evils of aliens and Bigfoot, and hopefully Nessie will win the day. For water monsters everywhere! Okay, guys, have a great day, and we'll see you guys on the next stream of Dragon Ball Tenkaichi, starting in 15 minutes. God bless, happy gaming, see ya!